Hi everyone, Vinay here. Welcome back to my channel Learn Coding with Vinay and playlist ASP.NET Core MVC. In today's video, we are going to implement a very common and practical requirement that you will find in almost every real world project. We will learn how to download data in three popular formats: CSV, Excel, and PDF using ASP.NET Core MVC. So we will be building the small scenario step by step using clean architecture. We'll use Dapper for data access, and we'll improve the UI a little bit using Bootstrap classes. So let's dive into it further. So let me go to Visual Studio, and let me tell you that I have already created the project called download data in MVC just to save time, and save video length, and run it once. So this is how the default template looks like. We have the home and previously link ready. Right. Next thing we want to do over here is to add the one more menu for our example. We'll be using product example. So we'll just go ahead over here and add the menu. Save it and let's see if we can see it on browser. So we have added the menu over here, one more menu, and we can see it on browser also. So this looks good. Right. Let's move to the next step. Next we want to do is to install required packages. So we will go to tools, NuGet package manager, manage NuGet packages for solution. Right? And while installing the package, make sure your project is not running. Right? So we will be adding Dapper, this one, and the next we want to add is the Microsoft dot data dot SQL client. Right. So we will just go to I'm just showing steps over here. I'll do it in the background just to save the video length. Right. So I have installed those packages and we can see it over here in dependency, expand packages, and we have the Dapper and Microsoft Data.SQL client. Both packages are installed. If you are working on any ASP.NET Core project, once you install the package, make sure to hit the save all button, or go ahead explicitly to open the project file and save the project file, because whatever packages we install, that has an entry in the project file over here. So we can see these two package installation entry over here also. And remember, we are using ASP.NET Core 9 for this example. Right. So let me close this. So we are done with package installation. Next we want to do is go ahead to app setting.json and add the connection string. So currently I have added the connection string, which is for my machine. The SQL server is also installed in my machine only. So this is my server, my database, my username and password. Right. Ideally in real world project, it should be either an IP or a fully qualified domain name, right, FQDN name, and then the project database and project username and password. Right. We can also go ahead and encrypt this, or we can actually store this into some user store or maybe on cloud if it is a cloud application. But as of now, to keep the example simple, I have kept it in appsetting.json only. Right. So let me close this. Next we want to do is go ahead and register the DB connection into program.cs so that we can use it anywhere in our application. Right. However, in this project we'll be using only one DB access class, but still, if there are many, we are supposed to register it into the program.cs so that we can later on we can use it everywhere. Right. So, and we have used add scoped lifetime. you know so there are three lifetime: transient, add scope, and single. Right. I'll probably explain this in some other video. As of now, let's go ahead. So we have registered the connection string over here in program.cs. Right. So basically the connection class, db connection, and we'll be using this db connection in the database access class. Right. So let's move ahead. Now next is to let's go ahead and add the require model. So we'll be taking a simple product example that we have also used in my previous few videos. So we'll be using that. Say right click, add class. Let's give it a name, product, add, And let me go ahead and add these four property which are quite simple, id, product name, product category, and price. So we have kept the model were quite simple, because the target is to understand the how we can download the data. Ideally this can be a complex object also with so many properties, right? But let's move ahead. Now next we want to do is have the service folder in. So I'll say right click on project, add folder. We will get new services, then right click, add. We'll have the interface, required interface, and the repository implementation class. So we'll call it as I product service and product service respectively, right? So let me go ahead and add class. So we'll take interface first, product service, add, I would say add, and let's go ahead and add one more class that actually implement this product service. Because this is how a normal project will have your folder structure and file, right? The purpose of creating the service layer is to isolate the database access solely into a dedicated classes, right? So ideally the controller should not have code to access the database. It should call a service, and service in turn do the required stuff, right? So that way controller will only be responsible to receive the request and provide the response, right? Rest of the logic goes into the service classes. So let me go ahead and add this. So we are ready with this service or infrastructure. Let's copy this and let's let this product service class inherit from this. And as of now we will be only working on one simple method, right? So we'll have only one method over here, that is get all products or something, right? So let's have this method get all product. Let me have the required using. Okay, excellent. And go over here, and since it is inheriting we'll have to implement this. Let's implement the member explicitly. Okay, so we have this also. We'll implement this later. But once we use service and service interface and service class, we'll also have to register in program.cs, just like we registered our connection string and db connection class, right? So what we'll be doing, we will just let me copy the code. We go to program.cs, and just like this, we'll have to also register these two services over here, right, in program.cs. So let me do that. Let me close this, right? Now let's go ahead and implement this method actually. So what do we need to do? First of all, we need to have the connection injected into the constructor of this particular class, right? Because that's what we did in program.cs. Now wherever we want, we'll have to do this. First declare a private variable, then inject it within the constructor of that class, right? And later on use it. Right? And let me quickly go ahead and replace this method with the actual implementation. Right, so what we are doing over here, I have simply created one store procedure that is called get all products. I have used this in my previous videos also, so you can if you have watched them, you can get a reference to it, right? And what we are doing, we are quite simple. We are using Dapper. We are saying query async and just go ahead and sql this sql. And this does not have any parameter. It's a quite simple, just get bring all data. Ideally in real world project there can be parameters, filters, everything, right? But as of now let's keep this simple. So our services and its implementation is ready, so infrastructure is ready. So let me close this. Now next thing is to let's go ahead and add the controller. So I'll say right click, add controller. We'll create the empty controller. Let's say add. Let's give it a name, product, and add. Okay, so product controller is ready with index method, right? And this we'll use this index method to fetch the data and display it on the screen. Now next what we will be doing is work on the index view, right? So let me go ahead and add, right click over here, and let's work on the view. So add view, then we will say razor view. We'll take the second option, because we'll have the ready-made code, otherwise we'll have to write it from scratch. So we'll have the index. From the template we'll have to select list, and from the model we'll select the product model. Add it. Okay, so the code is generated, view is generated. Let's go ahead and add the data access code in the product controller. So similar way, what we did for data access class, we'll have to do it for the controller also, but here we'll have to have the dependency injection code for the services, right? Whatever service we need, we'll have to inject it. So what we'll be doing, we'll declare a private variable for I product service, right? And we'll push it to the as an input parameter to the constructor, and later on we will use it. So here what do we need to do? In the index method of the product controller, we'll just say products is equal to await service get all async. Okay, let me see what method I have. Yeah, so since we are using actually async, we'll have to write async over here, right? And then this would be task, not just the IXN result, right? Okay, so our data access code is also ready. We are retrieving this from the service. Let me show you where we have service. Let me open the service class, right? So we are using this, we are fetching all the products, and we are displaying it on the index view. So let's go ahead and run this. How does it look like? So I have run the project, and let's go to the products menu. So products are displayed. All products are displayed. So let's go ahead and improve our design a little bit, because we don't need this create new button over here, right? We don't need this but links also. And instead of index, let's call it products. So what we'll be doing, we'll go to Visual Studio, we'll remove this. We don't need create button. We'll make this a little small, let's say h4. And we don't need this, guys. So we'll have to go over and this also. And also let's add class to the table head. Let's make it table dark, table hyphen dark. Let me save this, and let's see the output. Right, so now the UI looks a little better. Index, I just missed to change this to index to products. Let me make these products, and let's see. Okay, now the products are displayed, and we have the tabular structure data also. And let me add one more horizontal line over here, right? So that way it looks good. Save it. Let's go ahead and see. Okay, excellent. Now next thing you want to do is to have the three buttons added over here, right? That is CSV, Excel, and PDF. Now before we move with that, let's use Bootstrap grid to have our content over here. So we will just say div class is equal to row, and in that we will have div class is equal to call, and let's say call md8. And the next guy we will have it call md4, because Bootstrap divides your screen into 12 sections, right? So in the first 8 section we will display the heading, and in the last 4 sections we will have the buttons. So let me go ahead and cut this and put it down over here, right? And here we'll add the button. So let me see how does this look like. Okay, so we have the products and we don't have anything over here, which is good. Now let's go ahead and add the buttons. So let's go ahead and put down this button. I have the code ready to save time. And upon clicking on this button, we'll call the respective method. We'll implement this method one by one. Download CSV, Excel, and PDF. As of now, just let's see how does it look like on the screen now. Excellent. So we have CSV, Excel, and PDF. Let's also, go ahead and add Bootstrap icons. So let me go ahead on. So let's go ahead and search for Bootstrap icon. Let's say, sorry, I had a typo, but it picked up well. From there, go to this install. So we will have to copy the CDN, URL in our Visual Studio, and it has to be placed into sad view sad layout.cshtml. So after this, we'll just say Control V, save it, close it, and we'll go on top and we'll find the download icon. So let's say download. We'll take this guy, open a new window, and we'll just copy this and put it down in our Visual Studio over here. So I'll just say Control V and space, save it, and let's see how our browser looks like now. And so we have excellent, the logos also in place. Now, next step we will be working on these methods one by one. First, we'll work on the CSV method. So let me go ahead and so here we have download CSV method that we will implement first. So we'll go to controller and add method over here. So I have the code ready, to save time and save video length. Let me copy paste it and I'll explain it. So what we are doing, nothing. We are just retrieving the data, right? Get all thing. Again, we are retrieving the data, and whatever columns we want to pick, we are picking it. As of now, we are just taking 3 columns because IDs are supposed to not, export it in downloads, right? So that's we are following that best practice. Then we are making loop of it, and for this string builder, we are appending the data as a line itself, right? And ultimately, we are using this string builder to convert it into a stream of bytes, and then sending it as a downloaded file, right? So this is quite simple. Now let's go ahead and run this. Let's go to products. Let's click on download CSV. It is downloading. Let's go to our download folder, and we have the product.csv. Let me open it in Notepad. Open with Notepad. And here is the data. So our all products are downloaded over here. We can see the CSV is working fine. Let me close this. Let's move to the next. So next we want to do is to work on Excel. So clicking on this, we'll download the data in Excel. So let me go to Visual Studio, go to the product controller, and over here we'll have the method to download the Excel. Now before we move ahead and writing the method, we'll have to make sure the required packages is installed for Excel download. So for that we need one package that is called ClosedXML. We'll have to install that. So we'll go to tools, package manager, NuGet package manager, go to browse, and let's this have this package install, which is ClosedXML. Now there are many other packages also, but they require license, so just to get rid of this, we are using this the free one. So select this, look out for the latest version. Okay, select our project and say install. Accept. Uninstall button is enabled. Let's go to output also and see, look for any error. Successfully, everything looks good. And make sure you hit the save all button, because we'll have to make sure that entry is correctly registered into the project file as well. Right, so let's close this. Now the package is installed, we can work on the method now. So let me go ahead and copy paste the method I have, and then similar way I'll explain it also. Let me close this. Right, so for Excel workbook, we'll have to add the extension that we added, sorry, package we added. So we'll have to add a using. Okay, it added automatically. I think it should be closed XML dot something. Yeah, okay, close XML dot Excel. Right, so our code looks good. Let me explain what it is. So again, what we are doing, we are retrieving the data that we want to download in Excel. Right, then we are creating a Excel workbook. Just like when you are working on Excel manually, what we do, we create the Excel file first, and then within the Excel file we create the Excel sheet. Right, so we are doing the same sheet, we are doing the same thing. Right, so we are creating the Excel file. In that file we are telling that, okay, you go ahead and create this sheet. Right, and then in the and then we are making sure that, the first row is our header row, and it has the header of our columns. Right, so name, category, price. You can take ID also, but as I said, on download, ID should not be a column. Right, and we are taking integer row as 2, because from the second row itself we are making a loop, and every data is actually, printed in the Excel after second row. So basically from second, third, fourth, and fifth. Right, and this is what we are making loop of our product variable, and we are placing all this data into cell and row. So this is second row, first cell. This is second row, second cell. This is second row, third cell, something like this. Right, then the loop goes on and on. Right, and we have done the row plus plus. Right, that's fine. And ultimately we'll have to, for save is, for the download functionality, it has to be, converted into stream, and again the stream has to be converted into the bytes array. That's what we are doing, and we are downloading it. Right, so let me save this and run this. Let's go to products. Let's go ahead and click Excel button this time. Let's wait for it to download. Okay, so it seems to have downloaded. Let's go to download folder, and let's open the second file. Let me bring it over here. Right. Okay, so Excel download is also working fine. However, we have some improvement area. We can actually enlarge these columns a little bit so they are clearly visible, and we can, mark header as bold, maybe apply some back color to it. So let's do that. So let's, apply some formatting to the header. Let me go ahead and copy this. So after header is created, what we'll be doing, we'll be applying header, we'll marking headers as bold. you know we'll mark, we'll taking the background color of the header as light gray. Right, and we are aligning it to the center. Right, now let's do the similar thing for the column width. So once we are done with all the data, we'll put down that code. So over here we'll just say copy paste. And let me stop this. Actually, I forgot to stop the program. Right, and here we are specifying the column width. Since product name was little longer, so we are taking it 50. This one is 25, this one is 25. Right, so this is now good in shape. Right, and let's go ahead and run this, and let's see how does it look like. And you can plan out accordingly, or how do you want to paint each row. Even you can put it down your code within this for loop, and you can plan it out. Maybe conditional formatting, let's say some rows have pricing above 100, you want to show them in different color. Some price you might have, some other price, you want to show it in some different color. That thing you can plan it out. Right, but let's say as of now we have changed the code. Let's go to product and download Excel. And how does it look like? So it seems to have downloaded. Let's go to the downloads folder, and let's open the file. This time it is this one. Let me bring that file on the screen. Yeah, okay, go ahead and see how does it look like now. So basically our header are marked, into center. They are bold, they have background color as gray. Right, and the length of the each column is adequate now, so that the data looks quite visible in front of our eyes only. Right, so Excel functionality is working also fine. Let me close this, and let's move to the PDF download now. So just like Excel, Excel required one package, PDF also requires one package to be installed. So let's go ahead and go to tools, NuGet package manager, NuGet package manager for solution, and let's use the QuestPDF because that is free. There are a lot of other PDF packages also available, but those require, many of them require licensing. So we'll take the free one, and that is QuestPDF. And so we'll take this one, we'll select our project, we'll take the latest one, and let's say this one actually, and install. I accept. So uninstall button has enabled. Let's go to output and make sure that there are no errors. So it has installed successfully. Great. Let's go ahead and save all. So we save the project file as well, and we can see the package installed over here. Okay, so once the package is installed, let's move to the method now. So let me go ahead and copy paste the method for PDF also, and I'll explain it. This document has to be from QuestPDF. Let me see. So it has to be from QuestPDF.fluent or something. Let me say control dot over here. This one, last one. Somehow it did not pick the using automatically, so I am adding it manually. QuestPDF.fluent. Now we don't see any error for the document, right? Excellent. So again, we are doing the same thing just like Excel. We are retrieving all the data, and then we are using the document functionality, document class dot create functionality to create the PDF. Again, here first we are adding the header, right? And then we are adding the rows. You can pause the video and look at this. It's quite simple. Let me go ahead and run this now. Let's go to products. Okay, so we have an error for licensing actually. If you see the error closely, commercial license is provided, legal compliance. Okay, so what we missed actually, we'll have to use the non-commercial one. So I missed that. Let me stop this. We'll go to program.cs, and in the program.cs we'll have to register it as a non-commercial usage, right? So quest.setting.license is equal to license type.community, and the free one basically, and that has to be imported using questpdf.infrastructure. So let me go ahead and add this using, right? So now we are good. Let's go ahead and run this. Let's go to products. So it seems file has downloaded. Let's go to download folders. Let's open products.pdf, this file. So we have opened the PDF and we can see the data is downloaded into a PDF file. Over here also we have some improvement, points to be done. Maybe we can mark the header as bold and improve, add some padding, and maybe add a tabular structure to this, right? So let's go ahead and do that. So let me close this. Let me go to Visual Studio. Let me open the Visual Studio, stop the running program. So let's make some improvement over here. So what do we need to do? First, let's add the overall page padding. So what we'll be doing, we'll be in the container, we'll add the page padding to some, which is 30, right? Let me keep this code also for you and keep me comment it out, and let's have the code with the formatting, and I'll explain that. Let me go ahead and copy paste this. So what we are doing, we are adding relative positions to the columns, right? 1 2 3, we are making it sure that they are aligned correctly. First thing, we are specifying width. Then in the header row we are marking it as bold, right, with some certain padding, right? And next thing we want to do is to have the formatted data rows. So over here we'll be adding we'll adding some border line. So let's add this. So we'll add a bottom border and padding to each row. Let me save this and let me quickly watch this again. We added padding to the page, then we mark the header rows with a certain distance, basically added padding, and yeah, we gave it a border also, and then for each tab, each line we gave border. Right, so let's go ahead and run this now. Let's go to products. Let's click on PDF this time, PDF button. So it is downloading. It seems to have downloaded. Let's go to our downloads folder and open this PDF. Now see, the PDF seems to be nice formatted. We are not diving too much into this tutorial to format this can also be formatted further, just like our Excel, right? Maybe you can plan to have a each row, based on some condition you can plan to have each row with some background color or something like that you can plan it out, right? But overall, this is the PDF download. It is working nicely, right? So let me close this. Now as a this as on this tutorial, there is one more improvement area that we can work upon. So whenever we work on Excel and PDF or CSV, it takes a little time, and the spinner keeps on spinning. Let me click on Excel and see, this spins on. The file is not downloaded. It has started the downloading, and once it is download, it is displayed over here, right? So by the time actually user is not supposed to click on multiple buttons over here, right? If let's say we clicked on Excel again, there is no need to click the Excel, otherwise it will start the second download, right? So what do we need to do? We need to prevent user by giving some pop-up, some progress bar that says, okay, we are downloading your file, wait for a while. So let's do that. Let me close this, go to Visual Studio. So let's go to our index.cshtml. First thing we want to do is to have a model. We will be using model pop-up, bootstrap model pop-up, right? So what do we need to do? Let's put down the model over here. Next thing we want to do is to let's put down the require script. And this is a simple model, and this is a script. So what we will be doing, on clicking on any button, we will be running this first script, right? So this will actually bring the model pop up on. It will have the backdrop, so that the background is blurred out a little bit, right? So you can pause this video and check this out. It is quite simple, right? Let me save this. So first thing, we added this model pop-up, we added the required script, and we will have to convert this actually hyperlink into buttons. So I'll say control KC this, and we'll have to put down buttons over here, because we wanna, after clicking the button, so once button is clicked, we immediately want to have the model pop-up in, right? So that is not possible with anchor tag. Actually it is possible, but it has a longer route, but with button we can achieve it very easily. So let's do that. So instead of this, we'll put down 3 buttons, right? And on each button we are calling the respective method, right? That is from our controller: download CSV, download Excel, download PDF. And once we hit this, the first thing it will do is to have this model pop up in blur the background, right? So I think required code is in. You can pause the video and check out this code. It's quite simple. We are just displaying the text, preparing our file, please wait, right? And let's run it and see. Let's go to products, and let's go to any of these Excel or PDF, because these are the two which is taking time. Let me click on PDF and let's see. So we have backdrop, we have message coming up, and the file is downloaded. So basically it prevents us to do any action before we before the file, existing file, is downloaded, right? So PDF is downloaded. Let me go to download folder. Okay, so we are here, and this is the file we just downloaded. Let me open it up. So here is the file that we download. However, this approach is also not 100% kind of accurate, because what usually happen, it downloads it, we are purposely delaying it. Let me show you the code, and that you will understand it better. So over here we are purposely delaying it by some time, right? Sometimes if the file is too big, you might feel that the backdrop is coming up and going up, still the file load is downloading. So have this timing accordingly, right, according to your downloads, right? So I hope you enjoyed the video. That's it in this video. And in the next video, probably some other video, when I get time, I'll try to record the uploading of bulk data using this same method. We'll use the Dapper, we'll use the same this project only. We'll plan to have a button over here that that bulk upload data. So we'll upload the Excel file and put it down into the database, right? That's what the next video will be. So I hope you are enjoying. Subscribe to my channel, Learn Coding with Vinay. Go to the playlist ASP.NET Core MVC and check out other videos as well. I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks a lot, guys.